today we're looking at the Acer Aspire Switch 10 Hybrid Tablet 2-in-1. Here is the box, which advertises that it has Intel inside and that it uses Windows 8.1. Also on the box are 5 small diagrams showing the various modes this hybrid can be used in. Inside the box you get a code for 365 days of Microsoft Office, various quick start and setup guides, some warranty stuff, and the hybrid laptop itself. Okay, so the specs: it features an Intel Atom Z3745 quad-core processor with Intel HD graphics at 1.33 GHz and a burst speed of 1.86 GHz, 2 GB of low-profile 1066 MHz RAM, 32 GB of internal flash storage, although only about 16 GB of this will be usable after you've removed the Acer bloatware. It'll be even less without that. Along the right hand side we have the mic input, the micro SD card reader slot which supports up to 32 GB, a micro USB port, micro HDMI and power input. It features a 10.1 inch 1366 by 768 LCD LED backlit IPS touchscreen with a 2 megapixel webcam built in, though I should say Acer have recently released a 1080p version of this. On the left we have the volume up and down, the power button and the headphone input. Along the bottom we see the stereo front facing speakers and the 2 magnetic slots to attach to the dock. Dimensions of the tablet are 262mm by 178mm by 9mm. With the dock it is 262mm by 190mm by 18mm. The tablet weighs 589 grams and with the dock 1.1 kilograms. And for keen maths fans that means the dock weighs around 520 grams. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this product. Let's start with the aesthetics of it. As you can see, the lid of it has got this rather nice brushed aluminium top to it here, though I should say, I don't know whether you probably can't see it there, but I have already put a little bit of a scratch into it by putting something metal on top and just taking it off, so yeah, there's that to think about. It does however, feel very, very solid. There's no kind of cheap plastic used on this. It's all very good materials. It's actually got Corning Gorilla Glass 3 and the screen as well. Also, when it comes to build quality, the keyboard dock that comes with it here. Now, with laptops especially, the keyboard can often be something that's really a bit flimsy on something that's cheap. You know, you can bend like this when you're pressing down on it. There's a little bit of flex like this. If you go like this, because of the metal and that, it is very solid. And it's not as flimsy as you think it'd be for something this size. Anyway, so the keyboard. Now the keyboard is compact through necessity, really. I mean, it's a mobile thing. You don't want something that's going to be out here. So there's going to be compromises. And to be honest, I think this keyboard's or Acer have done a very good job with this keyboard in keeping it nice and compact, making the buttons that you would use a lot, backspace, enter, shift, all nice and big and easy to get to. Okay, delete's very small in the top row. And the very, very top row here are very small, so if you've got bare hands, then I imagine that could be a problem. You have function modifiers right here, where you've got all your volume up and down, etc, etc, brightness, and the compromise definitely does come with the arrow keys, which are very jammed up with the page up and page down. But when typing with this, I found it to be fine. I typed out most of this review on this keyboard, and yeah. I don't have many complaints really. It was comfortable enough to use. Okay, so the touchpad versus the touchscreen. Now let's start talking about the touchpad. I already mentioned that it's pretty horrible, and yeah, it's one of those things you never quite know where the click is because it's not very obvious with it like this, and often you'll move it down somewhere and you'll go to right click and then it'll just move down a little bit and you'll end up selecting on the wrong thing, and the two touch to scroll it works. I think this could be more of a Windows 8 thing, my favourite software, as you know. But yeah, I mean, it's a touch. It works as a touchscreen as well, and I would say about 90% of the time you are much better off using the touchscreen because the touchscreen is much more accurate to use. You can easily whiz about like this, select things. Yeah, I didn't really have any problem with that at all. I would say the one thing about using the touchscreen is if you're in desktop mode especially, things can get really very, very small. It's a small screen and everything's scaled down to match that. So if you're like on a new tab in Chrome, it's very, very precise. Though again, I didn't really have much of an issue with that, but I think if you have bigger hands, you might really be having a problem. I'm kind of... yeah, they're not that big, you know. Alright. Okay, so the screen itself. Now, it is only a 1366 by 768, and I know that is a pretty horrendous resolution to use, but to be honest, for what this is for, it's not that noticeable. I'm not saying it's not noticeable. You can, I mean, if you know, you're the type of person who's looking for it, if you know you're looking for that thing, then you'll see it. You put it like this, you'll see the pixels because it's only a 768p screen. But saying that, Acer do have a 1080p version coming quite soon, but yeah, I couldn't be bothered to wait for it, so I got this version, and for what I want it for, it does the job. It does use an IPS panel, so it is pretty bright and pretty clear, and the viewing angles are pretty good. It's got a pretty crisp and clear image, other than the fact that it's obviously 768p. So the screen, it's pretty good for watching films, especially as like high definition films. If you're just normal HD, it's going to be 720p anyway, and it's not that noticeable from this distance. Now, if you were gaming, which this is absolutely not made for, and I do not recommend gaming with it, then yes, that is the type of thing you'd start to notice then. So let's talk about the performance of this. Now, in Windows 8 mode here, or whatever they like to call it, they don't like to call it Metro, do they? But that's what comes to mind for me. This is perfectly fine, it's pretty zippy. Though I'm looking on the camera, so it's really bad. Okay, there we go. You can zip about through everything and it's absolutely fine. No slowdown or anything. But if you do go into desktop mode and you've got like Chrome open and you've got like lots and lots of tabs going, then you can start then to feel a little bit of slowdown, because again, it does only have 2 GB of RAM, and you know, if you've got too many tabs open, you're going to be making paging files left, right and centre. And although it does have an SSD, so it's slightly quicker to recall, it's still going to cause you a bit of slowdown. And the processor obviously is optimised more for mobile than for it to have like a full desktop operating system running off it. So there we go. Things like word processing and light areas of productivity are perfectly fine. So yeah, you can type up an email or a document or something like that. But let's be blunt here, you're not going to be opening Photoshop or anything like this on it. That's not really what this is for. It's for kind of like really light work on the move. If you're on the train or something, you can quickly type up an email ready to send, depending if you've got an internet connection, to be honest. And of course, as this is a full version of Windows, you can install whatever program you like from a normal PC. It's exactly the same operating system, and though of course, just because you can do that, I would not necessarily recommend doing that, because like I say, it's optimised more in a mobile-ish tablet kind of way than to be a full desktop laptop. Yeah. The webcam built into this is pretty reasonable quality. It's pretty ideal if you just want to make Skype calls with friends or family who are far away or whatever, or they can be close. I don't care. Yeah, you know. No, or you could use Google Hangouts, though Microsoft really, really would rather you use their programs. They do not like Google. Now, I'd say the strongest point about this hybrid is watching films on it with its dock and its positions, which I'll show you in a second, and especially the front-facing speakers here, which are really, really very good. I mean, if you look at something like an iPad or something that has the speaker in the bottom or the back, it's a degraded audio experience for you. So having them both in the front here is really, really good, and it's something that I really appreciated, especially because I bought this for kind of watching films in bed, Twitch streams and stuff like that, because let's face it, the Twitch app on Android or on iOS is appalling. Please fix that, Amazon. Okay, so let's talk about the transforming mechanism and the 4 different modes that we have. Obviously it has tablet mode, blah blah blah, portrait or landscape. You have the standard laptop mode here. It has nice strong metallic hinges here, so you can just pull it off like this, and it's got a very satisfying click to it, and it's really, really very strong. You feel it kind of boom together like this. The only downside to this is if it's dark or something, you can really struggle to see these tabs, and you're kind of feeling about, oh, where's the tab gone? I can't find it. Anyway, the other mode, if you just flick the screen on backwards, you can have it like this. This is what I call screen mode. I'm not entirely sure what they're using. This is what I'd usually use it in, because obviously I don't like using the touchpad, so you can just, once you've got a film open, just put it like this. It's right there. Nothing, no clutter in the way. Nice. Of course, if you need it to be a narrower footprint, like on the tray of an aeroplane or something like that, I think is the example of it. You can have it in tent mode like this, which is something I always associate with Lenovo, but yeah, you can do this, and again it works fine. Just of course your speakers are now changed to above rather than below, though that doesn't make a difference. And as an added bonus mode for this, if you can't be bothered to take it out of the dock, what you can do is just fold the screen flat like this, and now you've got a really, really heavy tablet. Okay, so let's talk about one of the most important aspects of a mobile device such as this, and that's battery life. Now, they claim you can get up to about 8 hours on it. Now, I haven't quite had 8 hours on it, so, you know, but they're always going to stretch it as far as they can. I say roughly 6 hours if you're going to be watching films and stuff constantly, and it'll get quite hot. Which is, it greatly depends on what you're comparing it to. If you're looking at a laptop and you're saying you get 6 hours plus of use out of it, it's like, wow, that's pretty good. My MacBook Pro can't get anywhere near that, though it is from 2010, so, you know, no, but as a tablet, 6 hours to me doesn't seem a lot. My iPad, 3rd generation iPad, can get a lot more. Or not a lot more, but, you know, a reasonable amount more. But the biggest problem for me personally, by a mile, is the standby. Now, with my iPad, I can put these both on full, and I just go like this, turn the screen off, shut it down. If I come back to this in 2 days' time, this will almost be dead from full. Whereas if I come back to an iPad, it'll have lost about 2-3%, maybe less. And to me, that makes a huge difference. It's all about convenience and being able to just turn it on and know it works. Especially if you want to watch a film that's like 2.5 hours long, you're going to need like 40% battery charge, maybe 30-40%, and you don't want to have to, oh, where's the charger gone, and look around this. And in all honesty, with the charging port right here, that can be a bit awkward. You have it open and it's halfway down the screen here. Now, I have a feeling I know where they've done that. It would be ideal having it down here, but I think they've done that because the speakers are right here and they don't want like the power to be interfering with the audio quality, which I completely understand. But again, it is quite awkward having the power here. So yeah, maybe they could have put the speakers at the top. Who knows? Okay, so the time has come. Let's talk about Windows 8.1. When you buy an Apple product, for instance, they have your basic stuff there. You've got your notes and your email, blah, 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 phone book and that. And then you have, but it doesn't come full with like apps for flipping sport and apps for flipping news and like weather all over the place and like Internet Explorer and OneDrive. I mean, Microsoft they're giving you a device and they filled it up for you already. And I personally don't like that. I want to get the apps and I want to put them in myself. I could get used to this layout, but the stuff on here, I just don't want it all. I don't even know what half of it is. Netflix. I don't have Netflix. I mean, I'm not in the US. We don't really use Netflix that much over here. eBay. I'd never used eBay in a million years. Zinio? No idea. AccuWeather, which is another weather app. I mean, why is all of this on my screen? And then after that, if you flick it up and you look at all the apps, I mean, look at it all. Do they really need this many different apps for all these different things? And I know this because it's a desktop version of Windows 8, but on a mobile device like this, all these different tiles all over the place, when you just turn it on, it doesn't make sense for people, especially if you're an older person perhaps, who's not going to be as tech savvy and easy to work it out. I mean, it took me a while to work out some of the stuff to do with this, like shutting it by dragging down from the top shuts the app, and to switch to another app you can slide like this and it'll cycle through them. So let's quickly talk about the App Store. Now, this is something that I found to be pretty poor for quite a long time now, and the problem with it is it doesn't have the kind of breadth and depth that iOS or Android have. Despite it being out for a while now, like a couple of years or so, it's just still not there. And it's, well, obviously I blame Microsoft, but there's also these like malicious apps, so to speak, which are trying to sell you something that you can get for free. Now, it's been in the news recently, or if you're watching this in months' time, it hasn't been in the news recently, it was in the news months ago, that Microsoft, they're clamping down on it, but they're really not enough. And when you know stuff like that there, it kind of, you lose your trust in it. And that, all that aside, like popular apps that you'd expect to be there, like Google Drive, there isn't an official Google app for that. There's lots of kind of third-party ones, but that's not really what you want. I mean, if you have a Gmail account and you don't want to be forced to use MSN or whatever, Outlook, and you don't want to be forced into using their OneDrive. You want to use what you want to use, and being forced to use Microsoft's thing that's bad. That's really bad. So anyway, who do I think this is for? If you're looking for a device that can easily type up emails or documents, maybe have a conversation with friends and family on Skype, and then after that, maybe sit back, relax, watch a few films, maybe on the go, maybe on a plane or something like that, even in the passenger seat of a car, then this is ideal for you. Its versatility and flexibility, coupled with the pretty decent keyboard and speakers, and even the screen, to be honest, makes it a really good buy for people with those needs. Okay, so I think that is about it. Thank you guys very much for watching. Now, let me know in the comments, what do you think? What do you think of this? Do you think it's just not powerful enough and does not have a good enough battery life for your needs? Or would you really consider something that has this kind of versatility with the screen positions? I mean, let me know what you think. I'd be really interested to know. So, yes, thank you guys very much for watching, sharing, liking, subscribing, all that absolutely good stuff, and I will see you next time.